Alright folks, welcome back to my channel. This is the third part of Star Control 2, the Urquan Masters. In this episode, we are going to resurrect the shofixti race. The first step is to talk to Admiral Zex. He is a Bucks commander, part of the Urquan battle thrall, but he seems to like us for some reason, and you will soon find out why.
I enjoy humans. You may know me by my reputation, my leadership of Vox forces during the war with your alliance. I assure you that this behavior, a sad necessity of those times, belies a much kinder, gentler being. Please be welcome. We can get to know one another, expand our interspecies relationship. But wait. How silly of me. You aren't here for polite repartee. You have come for my shofixti maidens. Ah, such a good question. But you always were a bright species. I will explain. After the Great War, in which I played some small part, the Vox High Council, in recognition for my services, granted me this planet, so that I might pursue my hobby without disturbing the general Vox pockets. I am a collector, you see. I have the finest menagerie of beautiful creatures in all space. Animals? Oh no, Captain, not mere animals. My menagerie contains only the most beautiful creatures in the galaxy. Each of my children, as I like to call them, has a wonderful set of traits which make them unique and special, especially to me. I have a complete variety of beasts from as far away as Procyon and Vega. No, this is not just some zoo. I have worked diligently for many years to craft my menagerie, to gradually improve it. Perhaps you can't tell, but I am rather proud of it. Alas, there's one creature, one gorgeous animal which I do not yet possess. I would give almost anything for that creature, Captain. What an interesting proposal. I never would have thought of such a wonderful idea myself. You are a genius, Captain. In answer to your question, yes, I accept your offer. Deliver the creature to me, and I shall give you the shofixti maidens. I will even provide you with a clue to finding the creature's native planet. My source for this information is an ancient wildlife handbook written millennia ago by some unknown alien author. The pertinent passage goes as follows. Demise. It basks in yellow light within the constellation Lynch-Na-Plo. We have translated Lynch-Na-Plo to mean approximately the long, thin creature who has swallowed the huge beast. I am afraid this is all that I know. I hope it is sufficient. Because I like humans, Captain, I respect and admire your species. I do not share the bigoted views of most of my people. No, not all, Vox Captain. Most, but not all. It is true, when the majority of my people view one of your species, they are forced to regurgitate. But there are those among us who have grown beyond such childishness, to take a more liberal view. We, the few sophisticates, are not subject to the whims and fads of current fashion. Our likes and dislikes are strictly based on personal preference. We see the beauty in you humans, the value in a long-term relationship. You are different, yes, but personally, I like difference. In fact, I adore it. Your physique is so wonderfully varied. Your multitudinous rigid appendages, your tiny double eyes, your varied skin coloration, and the delightful patchwork of hair covering only parts of your bodies, leaving other parts bare and smooth. I value your species, Captain. I see you as just people, like us fox.
The creature he requires is pretty much all the way across the map, so we have to do a few things before we can get there, just to make things easier later on and save time. The next step is to unload your resources at the starbase. Then we are going to obtain a warp core and then meet the Lu, which live in quasi-space.
Good to see you again, Captain. I have some information I think you should hear. We have a major situation, Captain. As of a few days ago, all Spathi starship captains have vanished from our starbase. We don't know how or why, but until we receive replacements from Spathiwa, you will be unable to commission any additional Spathi eluder vessels for your fleet.
The disappearance of the Spathi is because they slave-shielded themselves, because they are cowards. This planet is where the warp core is, and when you go to get the creature, make sure you have the upgrade to protect your people on your lander. Once the warp core is obtained, then we go to a set coordinates and wait till the 17th. A portal will open into quasi-space, and then we visit the Lu homeworld. While in quasi-space, you don't use any fuel. There are set portals that bring you back out into hyperspace. They are jumbled up though, so use a map. So while waiting for the portal, an Lu decided to drop in and talk to us. But we still have to go to their homeworld.
Hello, my little one. I am so pleased to see you. You have done well for yourself. It is gratifying. You are very clever. Yes, I am Arilu Lalile, and I suppose it has been a very long time since you've met one of my kind. I imagine you humans are still very short-lived. How sad. Ah well, to answer your question, we chose to cease our efforts with the Alliance of Free Stars when it seemed that there was no longer any threat to our Earthlings. I am pleased to see that you, from outside the slave shield, survived. You seem healthy. You are curious. That is a promising quality. How can I describe our relation to humans? Never doubt our motives, Captain. Your well-being is of paramount concern to every Arian. Surely you know that it was the day after humanity joined the Alliance of Free Stars that we appeared in the open for the first time. This was no coincidence. We wanted to protect you. Once we saw that you were, well, safe, we decided to tend to other business for a short while. Believe me, Captain, we have known each other for a very long time. You might even say that we knew the first human. With ships and weapons, blood and bones, no. Too many shipmates were forcibly discorporated in the last conflict. Our cooperation is not necessary. You are the focus. However, knowledge transcends reality perimeters, and this we can share with you. An example, to discover the nature of the red probes, seek creatures who inhabit a world with no surface. We are many places at many times. This place is an easy place, one of the 10 easy places. At different times, we explore different easy places. That is our way. Oh, I can see from the look in your eyes that I have confused you. I am silly. Please disregard my words. We seek to trap Noong, but they dart and leap. You cannot trap Noong. Do not even try. I do not think you can even touch them. You were not quite solid enough. Why, we let them go, of course. None do not like to be confined. Captain, these things we talk about, they are unimportant to you. They are as dreams. Our words should address your universe, not ours. Farewell, child.
So I guess these guys are basically the Greys. But it looks like they were doing it for our own benefit.
Ha-ha! Our clever ward has found our nook in time. You are the first brave human. No others have made the trip. This is our home world, Falealarofali, nestled safe in this true space eddy. The portal you pass through is a rarity, a natural point of interdimensional fatigue. We use these phenomena to speed our transit through the realities. We are wondering, have you met with the Umgar recently? We entrusted an injured talking pet into their care, and we were curious about its progress. As you know, we live in a dimension adjacent to hyperspace, which we call quasi-space. Our ships move between these dimensions through weaknesses in the interdimensional fabric. Although many such weaknesses, or portals, exist which lead from our dimension, quasi-space, to various locations in hyperspace, there is only one naturally occurring portal, which will transport a ship from hyperspace to quasi-space. We therefore find it convenient to generate our own portals artificially, with focused dimensional fatigue rays. As a sign of our long-standing relationship with your species, we would happily fit your vessel with a portal spawner of its own. But your ship is so massive, our units would be ineffective. However, we suspect you may find a sufficiently powerful warp pod, the key element in a portal spawner, in the wreck of the Ultron dreadnought on the 7th world at Alpha Pavonis. Bring that warp pod back here, and we will prepare a portal spawner for your vessel. We are an endlessly curious species, and we spend much of our time on, how should I say, reconnaissance missions. During one such trip, we witnessed the crash landing of an Ultron dreadnought on the surface of Alpha Pavonis 7. Normally, when an Ultron vessel is disabled, it automatically engages self-annihilation circuits to prevent other species from learning the Ultron's technological secrets. In this case, however, these circuits must have failed. The dreadnought did not disintegrate on impact. We landed to explore the wreckage, and were amazed to find a survivor, a talking pet. As you may know, the Ultron used these non-sentient creatures for the task of interspecies translation, a task the Ultron find ultimately demeaning. The talking pet was severely injured, and we did what we could for the poor creature. But it grew clear that without superior measures, the talking pet would die. We turned to the Unga, whom we have known for many centuries. Their bioscience skills are far superior to our own. The Unga promised to do what they could and let us know how the pet fared. We have not heard from the Unga since. Perhaps, if you are traveling through their stars, you could ask them for us. Certainly. As a sign of our long-standing friendship with your species, we would be happy to fit your vessel with a portal spawner, allowing you to jump from place to place in hyperspace without traveling the intervening distance. However, your ship is so massive, our normal warp pod units are insufficient. But you will find a sufficiently powerful warp pod in the wreck of the Ultron dreadnought on Alpha Pavonis 7. Bring that warp pod back here, and we will prepare a portal spawner for your vessel. What a surprise! As we have always said, humans are a most resourceful and clever species. We are so proud of you, but don't worry that you shall have to wait. We are prepared. Even now, our technical personnel are equipping your ship with a custom version of our portal spawner device. The device is usable only in hyperspace. Whenever it is activated, the spawner will focus several interdimensional fatigue beams adjacent to your vessel, opening a temporary hole into quasi-space. Move quickly through the portal. After your ship has passed into quasi-space, you can choose any of the nearby portals which lead back to hyperspace, thus saving you needless transit time. Be keenly aware of this fact. The spawner requires a great deal of energy to function. We estimate that each time you use the device, it will consume 10 of your fuel units.
Our next step is to attain the creature. It is on this world. And since we're in this region of space, we are going to visit 4 rainbow worlds to get the credit for them. And we're going to meet the Supox and the Utwig. The Utwig are really depressed because they broke the Ultron. The Supox will give you the Ultron. You have to fix it, and they will join your alliance. Then we can attain a planet-destroying bomb that we will need for the end game. We meet the Utwig first, and then the Supox.
I suppose as a courtesy I should extend an appropriate greeting. On behalf of the Utwig Proctors, I truly hope for your sake that your day has been better than ours, although this really isn't saying that much. What good would that do? I mean, why should we? We agonized for hours, wondering if it was a cruel twist of fate or simply a serious case of butterfingery. The lifetimes that have been spent in the pursuit of the elusive answer to this deceptively simple question has driven many of us down the dark road of self-destruction. Indeed, even as these words strike the ears of any who care to listen, the real question is, does it matter? I cannot say. I wallow in a quandary, unable to determine what better atones for my part of the great sin. Should I engage in slow and painful self-termination? Should I commit myself to a long life of painful self-flagellation? Should I throw myself with enthusiastic verve at the problem of collective annihilation? I do not know. Even now, my mind writhes in anguish of indecision, lest the outcome be inadequate. All right, I'll try. But you know, it really doesn't matter. After all, we have a famous Utwig saying, when one loses the reason for existence, one tends to get less motivated. This goes hand in hand with the painfully appropriate credo, we broke it so we are paying for it. Of course, this isn't really accurate. The situation is so much more hideous. Imagine, if you can, holding within your hands the answer, only to have it taunt you with its former potential. Ah, cruel irony. The loss of the Ultron grieves us all. We know nothing of this species that you mentioned. However, while we are on the subject of evil and powerful species, we have encountered a particularly gruesome race that seemed to come from the direction of Arcturus. When we hailed them, they responded with mighty weapons that sent our delegation to their deaths. Lucky fools. The aliens' dark,
crusty battleships are capable of guiding spinning mines into almost any location. And should an enemy get too close, a fiery corona emerges to inflict fearsome damage. In our skirmishes with the race who called themselves the Quasi, we found that by using our own shielding capability, we could sweep through the mines, absorb the corona, and then get close enough to the dark ships to give a lick of our own. In truth, however, they are very powerful and ruthless. When the Quasi started to press toward our home world, we thought that our deserved punishment was being administered. But then, a mystery? They suddenly became disinterested and veered away. Bah, confounding frustration. With the Ultron, I could speak knowledgeably on this subject. To have this quality torn from our grasp emphasizes how meaningless our existence really is. This lack of meaning is what drives my species to the serious contemplation of a quick end. Your query once again painfully reminds me of the Ultron and what it was for the universe. I could tell you all and correct all that is wrong in the universe. All I can tell you is that the Quasi live to kill. Their stated purpose is to seek out new life and new civilizations and then annihilate them. We seemed to qualify as such, and that is why it is puzzling that after pursuing us with some tenacity, they suddenly turned away and headed toward Craterus. All this speculation would be unnecessary if only we had saved the Ultron. It would not have taken much. A diving catch, a thrown pillow, even a fuzzy wumpus would have broken the fall satisfactorily. Indeed, a panel convened to analyze the possibilities concluded there were at least 623 ways that the Ultron could have been saved if we had been prepared. Let us cease our discussion concerning these matters. As do
And this is the soup box. Intelligent plants. Imagine that.
Greetings, fellow carbon creatures. May your roots always be well watered. I am Captain Ala Lala. We come in peace. Our starship is called the Tender Shoot. We are the Supax Utricularia from Earth. Oh yes, we apologize for the confusion. Our home world is also called Earth, or more properly, Fleck, which means perfectly good and nutritious dirt. Earth is pretty close, is it not? We learn and we adapt. We are symbionts. Our first step in making friends is always to copy them. This is our idiom. Our kind evolved on a beautiful planet orbiting the wonderfully green-hued star Roots. From the canopy of the great jungle to the shores of the azure seas, our species has flowered and grown well. Early in our evolution, we adapted to exist in symbiosis with other hardier life, both flora and fauna, who supplied us with nutrients, while we supplied them with reproductive assistance. Yes, this has been confirmed by our people as well. Strange, is it not? Many of our people regard this inconsistency as proof of our divine origin. Oh yes, we have a strong cultural bond with the Utwig. They have been the foundation around which we have grown our starfaring culture. We are not only allies, but we are also friends. You should go meet with them. They could use some excitement. You see, they are a little depressed and morose right now. Usually they are most festive and fun. They broke their Ultron. The Druge, the cruel, sallow trading race who sold the device to the Utwig, called the device the Ultron, and claimed that it would give the Utwig superpowers. Unfortunately, the Utwig believed the Druge and bought the Ultron. However, the device did make the Utwig very happy. Of course, we didn't tell them what we really thought of the Ultron. That they were vapid fools to buy a piece of junk for a planet's ransom. We went along with the falsehood, and in doing so showed our own stupidity. Then, one sad day a few years ago, the Utwig Proctor dropped the Ultron during a particularly energetic and festive ritual. Now the Utwig are morose and depressed. They feel they cannot ever achieve greatness because they lost the powers of the Ultron. They even gave the broken device to us, saying that they couldn't stand the sight of it anymore. We are worried that the Utwig are so depressed that they may use their ultimate weapon. Here, you take the Ultron. Maybe you can do something with it. We thought that if we could get the Ultron working again, it would cheer them up. So, we tried to figure out how to fix the darn thing, or at least get some of the flashing bits working again. But for all the Druge's falsehoods, the Ultron is some kind of artifact, and we could not synthesize the necessary replacement parts. Perhaps on your journeys, you will find the elements necessary to repair the Ultron. Then you could give it to the Utwig, and maybe they wouldn't be so depressed.
Once you're attaining all 4 locations of the Rainbow Worlds, then you need to turn that information in and get your credits for them and get all your upgrades that you can possibly get. I ran out of fuel before the 4th one, so I decided just to go ahead and go back to Starbase after I got the 4th.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I'll talk to
I have
those
some
guys
information
later.
I think you should hear. We've detected a minute but measurable disturbance in the inner space fabric at approximate true space coordinate 100 by 50. Our scientists speculate that this disturbance may be caused by many thousands of hyperwarp penetrations, all in phase, as though a huge fleet of ships were on the move. Should keep it blazing. The analysis reads as follows. Subject, Ultron device. We put this thing through every test we've got and came up with the same results as if we used a fork. Nothing, zero, zip. This thing ever functioned, which we doubt, it certainly won't now. Age and physical stress have long since robbed it of whatever mystical powers it might have once had. Summary, in the future, please don't waste our valuable time on junk like the so-called Ultron. The next entry in the analysis is, subject, hostile alien creature. Data?
This is newly promoted junior scientist Hawkins reporting. Dr. Chu, he's the leader of the section. He's still in sick bay. He's been there ever since that thing took a swipe at him and he got too close to the cage. I guess it's got like triple jointed arms or something with spikes and razor plates all over. Data? Oh yeah, right. The subject is a xenoteratomorph, a big honking one I might add. It eats everything: plants, animal tissue, wood, ceramics, plastic, asbestos fibers, several types of metal chairs, a desk, and about half of everything a security officer wears. What it doesn't eat, it chews. And what it doesn't chew, well, it breaks up into tiny little pieces. What? Summary? Oh yeah, summary. The sooner you get that thing off the starbase, the less likely it is that thing will get loose and kill us all. I guess that's it.
That's the end of our scientist report.
Alright, the next episode we finish resurrecting the shofixti race,
Farewell, Captain.
do a few battles, and a couple other things.